Cek 1 2 3. Cek 1 2 3.
Selamat datang di Green Campus Telkom University. Saat ini Anda berada di Auditorium Gedung Damar Telkom University Bandung. Berlokasi di kawasan Bandung Technoplex, Jalan Telekomunikasi, Terusan Buah Batu Bandung, Jawa Barat, Indonesia. Auditorium ini memiliki satu pintu utama terletak di bagian depan auditorium. Dua pintu darurat yang berada di bagian kiri dan kanan gedung. Dua tangga utama terletak di depan gedung. Fire sprinkle di setiap ruangan. Dan terdapat 6 tabung apar yang ditempatkan di kiri dan kanan gedung. Untuk informasi tambahan, 2 ruangan toilet berada di bagian belakang gedung. Untuk dapat beraktivitas dengan aman dan nyaman, pastikan Anda mengetahui prosedur penyelamatan saat terjadi keadaan darurat. Keadaan darurat yang mungkin terjadi di antaranya gempa bumi dan kebakaran. Bagaimana jika terjadi gempa bumi? Pertama, tidak perlu panik. Kedua, tetap tenang namun selalu waspada. Ketiga, jauhilah dinding dan jendela karena beresiko roboh. Keempat, berlindunglah di bawah tempat yang kokoh seperti meja atau kolom hingga getaran berhenti. Kelima, lindungi kepala Anda. Bagaimana jika terjadi kebakaran? Tanda terjadi kebakaran adalah bunyi alarm. Tidak perlu panik. Saat terjadi kebakaran, berjalanlah merangkak menuju pintu darurat atau tangga darurat bila ruangan dipenuhi asap. Tutup hidung dan mulut dengan sapu tangan atau tisu yang dibasahi air guna mengurangi udara kotor yang terhirup ke hidung. Jika memungkinkan, segera padamkan api dengan apar. Ikutilah petunjuk penggunaannya. Jika tidak memungkinkan untuk dipadamkan sendiri, segera lakukan evakuasi. Pada semua kasus keadaan darurat yang terjadi tadi, yang perlu Anda lakukan adalah mengikuti arahan evakuasi dari petugas evakuasi. Evakuasi. Jangan berlari, berjalanlah dengan cepat, tenang, dan teratur. Lepaskan sepatu bertumit tinggi untuk menghindari resiko terjatuh. Jangan membawa benda berat. Benda berat di tangan akan menghambat jalannya proses evakuasi. Ikuti petunjuk arah menuju pintu darurat. Petugas akan mengarahkan Anda menuju titik kumpul atau assembly point. Segera laporkan jika ada yang belum hadir bersama Anda di titik kumpul. Jangan pernah kembali ke dalam gedung dengan alasan apapun sebelum ada pengumuman bahwa situasi telah aman. Setiap memasuki sebuah gedung, pastikan Anda memperhatikan lokasi pintu dan tangga darurat. Terima kasih atas perhatiannya. Kami berharap Anda dapat beraktivitas dengan aman dan nyaman di lingkungan kampus Telkom University. Selamat beraktivitas.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, Mr. Bambang, as a Dean of Faculty of Electrical Engineering. Good afternoon, Mr. Yair Poplowski, and good afternoon, Mr. Donny Hotman, and good afternoon, all of the team from Orchestra Group. Today, it's been a pleasure for us to have an honorable invited speaker, Mr. Yair Poplowski from Orchestra Group, UK, from Asia Pacific region. And today we will have special activities, not only Studium General, but also we will have an agreement between Faculty of Electrical Engineering, Telkom University with Orchestra Group, memorandum of agreement between two parties for the collaboration in research and other things between two parties. So now, without any further ado, maybe we will watch the assignment of the memorandum of agreement between two parties. To Mr. Bambang as a Dean of Faculty of Electrical Engineering, and to Mr. Yair Poplowski from Orchestra Group, Asia Pacific, Singapore, please go to the front of the auditorium.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for having us. It's an honor, and we're very excited. It's the first time that we do something like that in Indonesia, and we heard amazing things. Tony is an ex-student, and he said, if one university, this is the university. So we prepared, this is an interesting thing. It's a omen of good faith and protection. So we thought that for a cybersecurity company, it's a good sign. So for yourself, please.
Oh, thank you very much.
And we have one for you too.
Beautiful.
And one for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
So beautiful.
Thank you so much, and I hope you will enjoy what we have to say. It's going to be interesting. Please to ask questions.
Okay. I have also
Oh,
one thing.
This one is Hand of Miriam, right? Hand of Miriam. Yes.
Yes. This one is our
protection.
Yes.
our symbol of leadership.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to Mr. Yair Poplowski and Dr. Bambang Stianugroho for the assignment of memorandum of agreement between two parties. And now we will go to our second activities for today, which is Studium Generale from Orchestra Group. And the moderator for today's episode of Studium Generale will be Mr. Fafian Dewanta, Dr. Eng Fafian Dewanta from Telecommunication Engineering. And to Mr. Fafian, please go to the front of the auditorium. The time and room is yours.
Oke, baik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang rekan-rekan semuanya. SG hari ini akan dibawakan dalam bahasa Inggris ya. Jika rekan-rekan sekalian ada pertanyaan, mangga disampaikan dalam bahasa Inggris. Kalau tidak bisa, disampaikan dalam bahasa Indonesia saja. Saya akan bantu translate ke bahasa Inggris. Baik, oke. I believe you are familiar with the cybersecurity incidents, and one of I believe as a computer engineering student, you are familiar with the cybersecurity, and I believe you also aware with one of the famous cybersecurity incident. It happens in 2016, and the name of the bot of malware is Mirai botnet. Did you ever heard about the Mirai botnet? Not yet? Okay, I will tell a little bit about Mirai botnet. Mirai botnet is a very powerful malware or bot. It can infect a lot of IoT devices. So if you have IoT devices, please be careful. It can be infected. And if the devices is infected by the Mirai botnet, it can use your device to attack other IT infrastructure resources, because the malware will convert your IoT devices into a zombie that can attack other devices unintentionally. You will not be aware, but it can be detected that your devices is infected and attack other devices. And at that time, 2016, it has become a global issue, and when it happens, I was a student in the Kanazawa University, and my concern is also about the information security. And at that time, the university issued an announcement that every IoT devices should be changed. The password of every IoT devices should be changed. You cannot use default password because the malware can use the default password and infect your IoT devices. And in fact, after they infect the IoT devices, they can use the IoT devices to launch DDoS attack, and it will be a catastrophic event if the DDoS attack happen, because they will use a lot of IoT devices all around the world to attack one IP address. So, okay, that is the introduction for me, and today we will learn a lot about the cybersecurity and how to protect our cyber environment here from Mr. Yair Poplawski. He is an expert, technologist, and AI specialist in cybersecurity. And he is a VP, Vice President of Operation, and VP Sales LATAM at Voyager Labs previously, and now he is in Orchestra Group in Singapore. And please welcome our expert, Yair Poplawski.
Is where to put? Okay. It's okay. You have more cable. Yes, I'm okay. No, we need this. So you just had a very, very good example why people are moving to wireless and not to wire. Good afternoon, esteemed Dean, Head of Security Department, Tony, team, and students and professors. I hope you can hear me. I apologize that my Bahasa is not good enough for this, but maybe if I come here often enough, eventually I will be able to do this in Bahasa. And we are very excited to be here, and I'm very excited to be here. It's the first time I'm giving a lecture in Indonesia, and especially in an esteemed university like yourself. And we're going to talk about cyber in general, and then we're going to talk a little bit about IoT. We're going to have a demonstration, and then maybe talk more about IoT. For those who just came, if you can sit in the front, so I don't feel so alone, it will be good. But okay, when I was a student, I was also sitting in the back, so I know it's not because you're afraid of me. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about cyber. The fact, and I think your professor just said it, is that there is a disequilibrium, right? There are very small organizations of cyber criminals that are winning against very big organizations, against the Singapore government, against the Indonesia government, against the US government, against Australia. And they are winning. And we need to ask why. Because the governments and the companies and Unilever and all of those have more money, more people, more professional, and still the hackers are winning. So let's start and understand how this can be, and then maybe we can understand if we can fix this. By the way, when I say fix this, we can fix this, we are the now, but you are the future. So at the end of the day, the more the world becomes connected, it will be on your shoulders to fix this problem. So we can start, but you need to keep on going. Okay. This is an interesting diagram. It's a diagram of a network of a very small municipality. Small municipality. Maybe less than 1 million people. So just imagine, how does the network of Jakarta or Bandung look like? And one of the problems is that our cities are so complex. They are really very complex mechanisms. And everything needs to work with everything else. The taxes with the parking meters and the traffic lights and the automatic weather controls and the police, and everything needs to work together. So there are people, mainly from IT, that keep on making the systems more simple and more integrative, which is what they need to do, right? The more efficient is the system, the less it costs, the less problem it has. The problem is that the more efficient the system is, the easier it is to attack. Can somebody tell me why? Okay, so I'll tell you. Think about a very precise mechanism, a bicycle, right? You can put a stick inside the chain and the whole bicycle will stop because it's one mechanism. So the more our cities, homes, and lives become dependent on communication and being efficient, they are less resilient. Let's say that you have light out in Tokyo for 8 hours. That will almost be a disaster on a national level. But if you have a light out in a third world country, in a small city, and you tell them, we will give you 8 hours of electricity, they will say thank you. We usually have only 4 hours of electricity. So for that very messy system, it's hard to stop, and for a very efficient system, it's quite easy to stop. If you look at it from the hacker point of view, and what we in Orchestra are trying to do, we don't only look at the companies or organizations or governments we need to protect. We always look at it from a hacker's point of view. If I was a hacker, how would I look like? How would I look at this organization? Where will I come from? What will I do? What are my advantages? Because the disadvantages of an organization are always the advantage of the hacker. And the hacker doesn't need everything to work. It just needs one thing not to work. And then the hacker can get in. And this is how a very small organization can win over a very big organization. When we look at urban cybersecurity defense, we see that usually it's not that somebody woke up one day and said, okay, I need to defend this city. So I will start building the defense system from the top down, and I will do everything. No. At the beginning, there were antiviruses, and then the municipality added firewalls, and then maybe endpoint protection. And nobody was making sure that the antivirus and the firewall and the endpoint protection even talk to each other. Now, for a hacker, every one of these connections is an opportunity. Because if the endpoint doesn't talk to the firewall, there is a gap that the hacker can get in. And the IT people, we were today visiting and talking with a very big hospital here in the city. And they have a very small IT group, maybe 4 or 5 people. And they are very, very busy in just keeping the lights on and keeping that everyone and everybody and everything works together. So really, they have very, very little time for cybersecurity. They're so busy in doing their day-to-day job that they don't have the time and the attention to really deal. Even if they know what to do, they don't have the time to do it. And that is also an opportunity for a hacker, because if somebody knows that it has to close this door, but it leaves it open because it doesn't have time to close the door, the hacker doesn't care, right? The hacker says the door is open. Maybe it's open because nobody knew it was open. Maybe it's open because somebody knew but did not have the time. Let me ask you a question we always ask our clients. And this time, maybe someone of you will answer. Let's say that you are a cybersecurity operator, and you have 5,000 vulnerabilities to fix. 1,000 critical, 1,000 medium, 1,000 low, and 1,000 really lowest than the low. Okay? So 1,000 critical, 1,000 high, 1,000 medium, and 2,000 low. Show of hands. Where will you start patching? Okay. Who thinks that we should start from the critical? Nobody? So we don't start from the critical. Okay. Who thinks that you should start patching from the high? Nobody. Okay. Who thinks that you should start patching from the medium? Yes, medium or critical or high? What is your opinion? Don't be afraid. There's no wrong answer. Will you start from the critical, from the high, from the medium, or from the low? I will ask it in a different way. Where do you think the organizations start patching? Critical, right? Right? You have critical, high, medium, low. You start from the critical. This is the organizations. They start from the critical. This is how they work. Now, I am a hacker. Where would I start? Low, right? Because I know that somebody is fixing the critical, so I will not start with the critical because it's closed. So I start with the low, maybe I start with the middle. Now, the goal of the cybersecurity officer is to stop me, the hacker. So if he knows that I start from the medium or from the low, why is he starting from the critical? It's a good question, right? And this question is something that the security officers, the CISOs, and the SecOps need to deal with it every day. How do we prioritize? Where do we start? What can we do to stop these hackers? You see the picture of the blind or the blindfolded boxer? This is how most of the organizations look like. They don't know where the blow is going to come. They can be the best boxer in the world. They can be Mike Tyson. But they have their eyes blindfolded, so they don't know where the blow is going to come. And even if after they get hit with the first blow and they're still blindfolded, then they will not know where the second blow is going to come, and then the third blow is going to come. They will keep on getting hit and get damaged until they take off their blindfold. Now let's talk a little bit about the cybersecurity technologies. Those who are supposed to protect us. Most of them are isolated. Every company does its own thing. They're manual, so there's a lot of work. Remember those 5 IT guys from the hospital? They have to do the IT and the routing tables and the day-to-day and the access points and the Wi-Fi and everything, and also cybersecurity. They are reactive. They only start working when something has happened. That's already too late. The hospital has already been attacked. And they don't know how to work together. All of these are disadvantages for the blue team, for the good guys, and an advantage for the hackers. Quite frustrating, right? Now, what are the hackers after, right? Many technologies and many people in the security business are focused on stopping the first attack, right? The penetration point, which is the hardest thing to do because you don't know where they're coming from. But what some of these organizations forget is that this is only the first move, and it's not the most important move. Obviously, a hacker needs to do this move in order to get into the organization. But that in itself might be unpleasant, but usually it's not very harmful. It doesn't cause too much damage. It's just like you're trying to get into a house, but the jewels are in the safe. So it's not enough to get into the house. You need to walk inside the house in order to get into the safe. And what hackers are after are data, right? Our data. And today in the IoT world, they're also after process interruption. 5, 10 years ago, you can steal data because not many processes were IoT oriented, right? Data. We didn't have automatic cars and planes and drones and respirators and whatever. Even the cameras today are IoT. So the world is moving from data theft, which is still here, ransomware, etc., to process interruption. Imagine that now a very big hospital, let's stay with the hospital. And this happened in Australia 2 weeks ago. Data, medical data was stolen, right? And the hackers put a very high ransom. And then the government told the company, don't pay them, okay? Because the worst that can happen is that they will reveal the medical data, which is not nice. Nobody of us wants our data to be revealed. But it's not threatening our life, right? Nobody will get hurt, maybe emotionally, but not physically. On the other hand, imagine that this group would have done something that could interrupt the day-to-day life of the patients. Do you think that the government will advise the hospital not to pay? I am not that sure. So remember, data theft and process interruption. Another last view on the defenders, right? Those people who are in charge of defending the companies. Remember, it's not technologies that defend, and we will show you a very, very nice and automatic AI-based technology, which is making the life and the job of the people easier. But at the end of the day, it's you and it's us that need to protect ourselves, our families, our companies, and sometimes our countries. Technology is a help, is an enabler. In fact, in cyber, you cannot do it without technology. But technology is not enough. So we need to look at the people tasked with protecting this environment. And usually, they don't have enough resources. They don't have enough training. Not everyone is lucky as you to really learn this in university. Most of the people were IT, and then suddenly they need to learn cyber. It's not easy to do it on your own. Obviously, they don't have time, right? They have other things they need to do. And they don't know their enemy. Remember, they don't know where the enemy will attack. And this is something that, unfortunately, if you will work in cybersecurity, you will encounter. Lack of clear, holistic directive from the managers. Many times, the managers don't want to know about cyber, right? You ask a manager, what is the level of risk you're willing to take? From 0 to 100, level of cyber risk. Can any one of you guess what will the manager say? What, 100? It's a lot of risk. 50% risk, 25, 10, 0, how much? Are you willing to take a 50% cyber risk on your organization? You're in charge of a hospital. You are completely correct. Completely correct. The immediate answer is 0. I'm not willing to take any risk. Now, let's face it. In order to take 0 cyber risk, you need to unplug all your equipment, turn off everything, make a very deep hole, throw all the equipment in the deep hole, and pour concrete over it. And even then, I'm not sure you're taking zero risk. So there is no 0 risk in cyber. You need to understand the risk and take it when you understand which risk are you taking. It might be 50 sometimes, it might be 80 sometimes, it might be 10 sometimes. If it's something you really want, if you really want that all your students will have Wi-Fi all across the campus, you're taking a big risk. But you're saying it is worth because my students are important and I want all of them to have Wi-Fi all across the campus. Even though I know that every access point is a possible breach. It's a calculated risk. You need to know how to make this risk slower or smaller, but it's still a risk you're taking. This is how most of the defenses look like. They are reactive, partial, uncoordinated, and usually not very effective. So the clip is very nice, but if this is how your cybersecurity is looking like, then the cat will win. Then the mouse will win. Okay, you haven't been very cooperative, but I will try one more time. Anyone can guess how many smart connected devices exist in the world? 1 billion? 3 billion? 5 billion? How many? Professor, can you say? 100. That's not bad. I think it's around 100, maybe 80, maybe 100, but it doesn't matter. 100 billion IoT connected devices. 100 billion. Who can control and protect 100 billion devices? Every one of you have at least 3. Now, on you. A laptop, a phone, maybe headphones, on you in this time. And you own probably 10. And I'm not counting the projectors, and the factories, and the hospitals, and the planes, and the cars. So you can imagine the size of the problem. And we already discussed that this problem goes to hospitals, it goes to critical infrastructure, it goes to factories. It's really everywhere. Now, you might say, look, these devices, they're innocent. They prepare us coffee, they play us music, they connect us, they keep us warm. right? Innocent devices. Unfortunately, this is what you see in the news. Those are IoT cyber attacks on a national level, on an enterprise level, causing millions of dollars of damage. And if you look at the Russia-Ukraine war, maybe they also cause lives. And when you look inside, you would see that they are not so innocent, right? They have unprotected storages and hard-coded backdoors and unencrypted communication and vulnerabilities and insecure pairing procedures and absolutely no security patches. Let me ask you one last question. Does anybody here have a Wi-Fi printer? I'm guessing you do, right? Did any one of you ever clean the cache of the memory card of the Wi-Fi printer? Never, right? Did any one of you ever change the technician backdoor of the Epson or the Xerox printing machines? Probably not. So it will take me or you 5 minutes to find out on the internet what is the specific default password of the printer, of that same model. So if I know the default password of the technician, and you never clear the cache of the memory card, then I can hack and I can take everything that you ever printed in your life. Now maybe in your case it's just school materials, but think about a lawyer's office. Think about a doctor's office. Think about police. Think about what they print every day in their printers. And you can seal it with a parking car in a public space outside the police station. Donnie, should we do the presentation now? And then I keep on talking about the solutions? Yeah. We're going to do a short stop. I'm going to talk later because there are things that we can do. Otherwise, we wouldn't be standing here. But right now, we just talked about the problem. And now, Donnie will try to illustrate how easy it is to exploit the IoT. You need the computer?
I think his laptop. Butuh laptop ni kamu. Untuk show aja. Yeah.
From there?
Yeah.
You want the cable?
I'll take it with. Okay, I will speak in Bahasa. Okay. Yes, we need this HDMI. So, okay, sebelumnya teman-teman, perkenalkan saya Doni. Honman saya alumni STT Telkom University. Dulunya STT Telkom. Saya angkatan 2003. Saya sudah traveling untuk Asia Pasifik. Jadi tujuannya sebenarnya saya melakukan kedatangan ke Telkom University itu cuma satu, sharing ke teman-teman. Kenapa sih alumni STT Telkom itu cukup punya nama di luar, nggak cuma di Indonesia. Karena kita punya alumni cukup punya knowledgeable. Dan saya harap juga teman-teman punya semangat yang sama. Artinya bahwa kuliah itu the moment teman-teman belajar untuk punya direction, mau kemana. Saat ini kita sharing tentang cyber security. Ini volume requirement di dunia kerja yang paling hot. Bukan lagi network, tapi cyber security. Hopefully kita bisa share ini menjadi acuan teman-teman untuk punya direction. Saya mau kemana? Saya mau punya karir ke arah mana? Ketika kita share, kenapa para alumni punya semangat juang untuk bisa overseas? Saya bisa ke Singapura, saya bisa ke Jepang, saya bisa ke US, UK. Teman-teman bisa, bukan nggak bisa. Cuma satu, fokus. Itu sharingnya dari saya sebagai alumni kampus ini, saya juga pernah sama kayak teman-teman duduk di bangku ini, belajar saya bisa dibilang kurang fokus. Makanya saya sharing ke teman-teman, hopefully teman-teman bisa fokus untuk capai tujuan teman-teman. Ini saatnya kita mungkin share ya, kenapa IoT devices attack itu bukan cuma teman-teman atau negara lain. Most of the people doesn't understand. They are not really care about what they have. Contohnya, kita bakal simulasi saat ini. Saya undang Faras. Sorry ya. Faras ini saya boleh undang Faras maju ke depan. Ya. Boleh masuk Faras? Faras saya undang datang ke Telkom University itu sebagai partnership-nya kita. Jadi orkestra itu terkenal dengan red and blue team. Red and blue team artinya, ada yang tahu siapa red team? Apa itu red team in the cyber security? Ada yang mau angkat tangan? Ada yang mau jawab red team? Ada yang tahu? Is the hacker. They are trying to simulate the attack. Siapa blue team? Is the defender. Dia akan monitor, is there any attack? Orchestra, the founder identify this a gap. All the vendor, most of the vendor in the market, they become only the blue team. So they identify and they need someone to attack. So there's a gap because I only have the blue team. So the founder identified this as a gap. So the combination red and blue in a single platform. That is orchestra. So today we are going to present. Anyone connected to the Wi-Fi? Most of you will be connected to the Wi-Fi. Do you know that you are connected to the right Wi-Fi? Are you sure? I don't know, of course. Do you know that I can steal your information? Anyone else? Teman-teman dari tadi punya tesis atau kerja atau punya private things that actually itu udah kesebar. Ada yang tahu? Gak ada yang tahu. Saya contoh, teman-teman pernah keluar negeri? Ke Singapura? Pertama kali yang teman-teman akan lakuin apa? Hotspot. I want the free Wi-Fi because I want to call my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my family. Correct? Do you know that you are connected to the right Wi-Fi? Kita cuma lihat, oh ada Changi Airport Wi-Fi free. Klik, connected, get the internet. Correct? Pernah nggak ngalamin itu? Pernah ya? Pernah tahu nggak connect kemana? Mungkin saya lagi di Changi, saya duduk, saya punya access point yang very strong. Saya duduk dekat teman-teman. Oh rupanya teman-teman connect ke saya. Kenapa? Saya kerja coba simulasikan. Ini bisa di-present? Bisa. Oke, sebelumnya Faras is one of the youngest pen tester in Indonesia. Very young. Guess umurnya berapa? Berapa? 18? 19? Berapa umur kamu?
15.
15 tahun. I can say he much better than me. For the attacker, he know how to attack your laptop. He knows. Okay, so this is what I bring here supaya teman-teman bisa fokus. Teman-teman belajar pasti ngelihat orang tua udah capek kerja mau jadi apa? Fokus, harus bisa fokus. Cyber security kalau nggak fokus, he cannot identify the malicious traffic. That's why the AI has been built by all the founder is to identify this. Okay, so we are trying to, HDMI tadi ada yang, sorry. Oh ini dia. Saya tadi sebelum kuliah umum dimulai, saya udah minta izin Pak Febian to scan the entire Wi-Fi in Telkom University. And what we found that I can see all your information. I can see who is the IP address and so on. Okay? So the reason why kita ngelakuin ini, itu awareness buat teman-teman. Pakai Wi-Fi, not only di kampus, when you go out, be careful. Especially kalau ada tesis, ada data pribadi, apapun itu, never connect to the free Wi-Fi. Never. Don't even try once. Okay, but now, we go to the next level. Telkom University has landing page. Okay, is that enough? Yes and no. Okay, but the awareness is kita mau share di sini adalah bahwa we need a security because the hacker now is getting harder. Mereka punya banyak cara. Salah satunya tadi landing portal, authentication, siapa yang bisa password. But apa yang kita lakuin sebagai hacker di sini? Kita play in the middle. Saya, the host, laptop, trying to connect to the Wi-Fi. Okay, but before I connect to the Wi-Fi, someone tried to steal the connection. This is what we do. Farah, do you want to explain? Please.
Oke, mungkin kita bisa lihat di sini ya. Di sini itu adalah network traffic. Network traffic itu kayak semacam jaringan di dalam internet. Semua IP, semua device yang connect ke dalam suatu access point, trafficnya pasti kebaca di sini. Semuanya bisa kelihatan dari masing-masing metode. Kalau kita mengakses sesuatu bisa kelihatan di sini, atau kita memposting suatu data atau misal kayak username atau password, semua bisa kebaca di sini. Nah, tapi kalau untuk yang username dan password, yang itu namanya method post ya. Jadi kita kayak mengupload suatu data dari kita sebagai user ke dalam server dari browsernya itu ya. Itu namanya method post. Method post itu kalau dikirim itu bisa dalam bentuk plain text atau teks biasa. Contoh kayak kita masukin username dan password. Misal username-nya kita kasih nama admin dan passwordnya itu kita kasih nama password biasa, password aja gitu ya. Nah, itu kalau misal website yang nggak aman atau domain yang nggak aman, itu bisa kelihatan dari sini traffic yang kita masukin, data yang kita masukin apa. Nah, kalau kelihatan attacker atau hacker bisa dengan mudah mengambil data itu dan mungkin bisa meng-take over akun kita. Nah, gimana cara suatu website tersebut bisa memprotek hal tersebut? Salah satu caranya adalah dengan menggunakan SSL. Mungkin teman-teman udah tahu ya HTTP dan HTTPS. HTTP itu merupakan singkatan dari Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Kalau HTTPS itu Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, S-nya itu secure. Kalau kita mengupload atau memposting suatu data di website dengan HTTP doang, semua data yang dikirimkan itu hanya dalam bentuk plain text atau teks biasa. Kita nulis admin, ya di sini kebacanya admin doang. Kalau misalkan kita mengupload data tersebut dari website yang menggunakan HTTPS, data yang dikirimkan itu akan berbentuk tulisan yang berbeda. Contoh kita menuliskan admin, nanti di sini di traffic ini kelihatannya itu teksnya itu akan jadi tulisan yang aneh yang nggak bisa dibaca. Itu namanya adalah enkripsi. Kalau analoginya mungkin kayak gini ya, HTTP itu kayak semacam misal kita ngirim paket tapi paket tersebut dibungkus dengan plastik yang transparan, pasti kelihatan kan. Kalau HTTPS itu kayak kita ngirim paket, paket tersebut dibungkus dengan kayak plastik hitam, terus dikasih bubble wrap atau mungkin dikasih kardus. Atau dikasih semacam perlindungan biar nggak kelihatan. Jadi intinya HTTP itu transparan, kalau HTTPS itu tertutup. Mungkin kayak gitu aja sih penjelasan singkatnya. Mungkin kita bisa lihat juga nih contoh dari data yang dikirimkan ke web yang HTTP. Saya coba buka. Nih, bisa dilihat HTTP request method post. Kita cek di sini ada saya mencoba untuk mengakses login.php. Dan kita lihat di sini ini ada dalam bentuk plain. Bisa dilihat di sini form item login username dan form item login password. Ini kalau nggak ke-encrypt kayak gini nih. Jadi bisa dilihat dengan mudah dan attacker bisa ngelihat dia mengakses web apa, terus diakses dan dia langsung bisa mencoba login pakai akun ini dengan kredensial yang udah kelihatan dari network traffic di Wireshark ini. Mungkin kayak gitu sih penjelasan singkatnya. Tapi ini juga bisa di prevent atau dilindungi dengan ya perangkat IoT itu. Karena saya udah pernah nyoba waktu itu, ini nama serangannya itu man in the middle attack. Saya mencoba serangan man in the middle ini ke suatu wifi gitu. Sebelum dikasih IoT, itu masih bisa tembus ya, bisa kelihatan kayak gini. Setelah dikasih IoT ditunggu beberapa lama, itu bahkan bisa real time ya. Kalau ditunggu sebentar, kita nih sebagai hacker, laptopnya itu udah nggak bisa ngedeteksi jaringan yang diklaim sebagai network yang penting atau corporate network gitu ya. Kalau ini kan saya login ke Telkom University dan di sini bisa kelihatan username dan passwordnya dengan device yang suspicious atau device yang berbahaya. Kalau misalnya udah dipasang IoT, mungkin ini device ini udah nggak bisa ngedeteksi atau bahkan mengakses login dari SSID Telkom University itu. Kayak gitu sih.
Oke, thank you Faras. Mungkin saya nambahin, saya punya ada video teman-teman partner kita sudah siapin. Mungkin ini bisa jadi awareness buat teman-teman juga. Mungkin masih boleh diputarin videonya. Alright, thank you. Ya, coba. Oke, teman-teman, mungkin sekian dari kita. Saya balikin ke Yair. Yair will present actually the product solution. Itu lebih ke arah sebenarnya awareness juga buat kita bahwa masih ada solusi yang bisa prevent ini terjadi. Jadi artinya bahwa dari kita yang paling penting bahwa never connect to the free wifi is actually mandatory. Jadi jangan pernah coba. Kalaupun pernah harus pakai mobile tethering. Jadi mobile itu nggak bisa di scanning. Jadi nggak punya regulation. Di setiap country itu 5G, 4G itu nggak bisa di scan trafficnya. Itu sebenarnya technically bisa. Tapi regulation itu udah di zeroin. Nggak boleh ada yang touch 5G signal. Untuk Wi-Fi, Bluetooth kita bisa. Mungkin sekian dari kita dulu. Mungkin Yair, I would like you to present the solution on how to prevent this kind of the IoT attack from the wireless perspective. Oke, thank you teman-teman. It's yours.
There's a question. Question there? You have a question? You have a question, or you just raising your hands? Okay, I assume that you don't. We've been talking for an hour and a half on the problems, which is very depressing, but I think that every one of us that chooses to do cybersecurity needs to understand that this is very serious. And I think now you do. And let's talk a little bit about the solutions, or possible solutions, or what can we do. Those are still attacks, so let me go over them. So there are many fields of cybersecurity. Because we are experts in IoT, we decided to work on the IoT. Now, you already know that there are many kinds of devices, many kinds of uses. We said 100 billion devices. You cannot go on and protecting and patching those devices, because most of them are uncontrolled. They're not even yours, right? In this hall, right, we have around 200 IoT devices. If I needed to protect your devices, I would have to go to talk to every one of you and convince you to put a protector and antivirus on your phone or on your computer. And you would tell me, look, we're not going to do it. So what we decided to do is to protect the communication between the devices. Because it doesn't matter if it's a Huawei or a Samsung or an iPhone, they still connect in the same protocol. And if you can protect the protocol, then you can protect the devices. If you are students of electronics, you probably know this. This is a Raspberry Pi, okay? So we took the standard Raspberry Pi and modified it to be Orchestra's protector. Okay, I'm going to put it here. Don't worry, it doesn't bite. It can explode, but it will need a hacker. Okay, so each and every one of these devices protects an area of 100 square meters. So you are all safe, okay? You are protected with this one device. It creates a cyber Iron Dome around the organization. Now the big question is, how does it do it, right? You are technical students, you need to know how, the details. So basically, the device is the edge device. It collects and transmits information, and it's connected via internet, in this case, to a brain that is in the cloud. So it's completely movable. You see, I can deploy it here. The cloud might be in Singapore, might be in Australia, it doesn't matter. And it has 3 algorithms, right? 1, 2, 3. The first one is the radar. This is the part that collects all the information that your phones and your computers and every device here is leaving. It's digital events, digital footprints. Every one of our devices saying, this is my Mac, I am here, I just came in, I connected to the Wi-Fi, I disconnected to the Wi-Fi, I transmitted information, I did not transmit information. All of these are digital events. In order to understand what's going on in the airspace, you need a radar, a digital radar, to capture all these digital events. And in the 1.5 hours that we were speaking, there are thousands of digital events from every one of us. But this is just data. It's big data, but it's not enough. The second stage is what we call the positive behavioral algorithm. This algorithm studies the behavior of each device here in the area. It knows that my computer was once here and then moved to here,
and presented and was connected to the Wi-Fi and disconnected to the Wi-Fi, and it knows that Donnie's phone is no longer connected to the Wi-Fi because he's paranoid, and he's right by being paranoid, and he knows that your phone and your phone started sitting here and then moved to here, and it builds a behavioral pattern of every device inside the Cyberdome. Okay, the devices can be corporate, devices that the machine knows are our devices, or guest devices, the devices that the machine did not know an hour ago, and now it knows them. And it learns the behavior, the normal, the baseline behavior of every one of the devices. Why is that important? Because if we don't know how a normal device is behaving, we do not know when the device is starting to behave abnormally, not normal. And for this, every time that my device is doing whatever my device is doing, and suddenly my device decides to try to connect to Donnie's computer, and it has never done so before, this is an anomaly. It's not yet a cyber attack. It's just an anomaly. Let's say that this auditorium is empty in the weekends, and suddenly there is a band here, you know, nobody organized it, there's a band on a Saturday, and everybody comes to see the band, right? This has never happened before. It's an anomaly, but it's not a cyber attack. But sometimes these anomalies are the beginning of the cyber attack. And this is for all of you. When you see something strange, something that doesn't look normal, that looks suspicious, this is the first time you need to understand that there is a cyber attack. Remember those calls. This is the Ministry of Health, and please give me all your details, and your credit card is being denied, and we need to renew your credit card. All of these calls, right? They look like normal calls, like normal emails, but they are not. If you look at them carefully, you will see that they are not from the State Department or from the Ministry of Health or from your bank, right? So anomalies of normal behavior are the start of cyber attacks. And then we have the third algorithm. This is what we call the hunter algorithm. This is the protector. This is the algorithm that knows how to identify a cyber attack. So if I have an anomaly, and then I analyze the anomaly, and it looks like a cyber attack, then the system knows that there is an attack. Now, what will the system do when it identifies an attack? Remember, I told you, there is always a human factor. Maybe we as humans cannot identify an IoT attack, right? We don't have X-ray in our eyes. But we can control the system. We can tell the system what to do. Not to do nothing, maybe just to alert, or maybe to actually mitigate. And when you tell this device to mitigate, if the device feels that Donnie's phone is acting strangely and trying to connect to the Wi-Fi in order to change the SSID of the Wi-Fi, it will build an invisible bubble around Donnie's phone, and it will prevent his phone to connect to any device, and it will prevent any device to connect to Donnie's phone. So even if Donnie puts a similar SSID, Telcom University free Wi-Fi, and your phones cannot tell the difference between this and regular Wi-Fi, it will still not let it connect. I'm going to try and show you that. Let's see if it works. Okay. Good. Do you see the screen? I don't know if you can see what it says, but this is this system here, okay? And now I'm in the visibility. Okay, this is where I see all of your devices, your IoT devices, your phones, your headphones, your computers. You see, there's a long list, 168 devices. You see all of these? We have a Samsung, and a Vivo, and another Samsung, and a Huawei. Okay, let's click on this Huawei. It's a very interesting device. It's here in the auditorium. I don't know who of you it belongs to, okay? But it is connected, you see, to Telkom University network. Okay, so this is this device. I still don't know its location because the system here is new, but I know that it's been connected to the Telkom University Wi-Fi, okay? And the system is starting to build, you see the activity plan. I don't know if you can see it. You see the little purple line there, okay, here? This one? It says that this is the first time the system saw this phone. And it will start following this phone, history, connection, everything. And when it knows the phone well enough, it will start building a predictive analysis of the phone. Now, the reason I'm showing you this phone is because, remember the network the phone was connected to? Telkom University. Let's go and see the actual phones. Okay? Telkom University. You see, this is Telkom University. Let's click on it. Let's learn about it. The Telkom University here has 54 access points. This device is now seeing 54. All the access points around this area is being captured by this device. And what can you tell me about the level of encryption of the Telkom University Wi-Fi? It's written right here, right? Okay? Open. Every one of these access points is open. So when you connect to the Telkom University Wi-Fi, I am very happy because I really don't have to work very hard, or they don't have to work very hard in order to hack into your phones. Now, the device knows that. So I can tell the device one simple thing. I can build a rule. This is a rule-based system. I can build a rule and tell the device, do not let any phone connect to a system that has open encryption. If I activate this phone, this rule, the system will disconnect all of your devices from the Wi-Fi, which I think is a good thing, right? Because right now, your devices are in danger. And the system wants to protect your devices. So usually when we come to public places, this is one of the first things we do. We put the devices inside the public place, and we start learning the network of the place. Telkom University employees, is this a secure network? Right? It has a password. Remember? Telkom University employee. You see this? Okay? 46 access points. What do you know? It has a password. I needed to log into the network with the password. So I'm protected, right? Right? Wrong? Open. So after I connected with a password and I feel that I'm very safe, I am not safe at all. In this case, I don't even have to do a man in the middle, because why bother? I can simply hack into the Wi-Fi and then be a man in the middle, a giant in the middle, because everything is going through me. So in this case, remember, what would we do? We would say, employees, telecom is a protected network. But I don't want to let anyone connect to an open network. That means that, unfortunately, your phones, in this case, will not be able to connect neither to the telecom university network, nor to the employees' telecom university. Again, it's a hassle. Everybody will be upset. No free Wi-Fi. But at least your devices will be protected. Conclusion. One last slide from my end. Do you know who is Sun Tzu? Have you heard about Sun Tzu? Who is it? I hear a yes. No? Okay. Sun Tzu is one of the most famous Chinese war philosophers. Okay? So if there's anything that we want to remember, you to remember from this lecture, it's this. Okay? I will read it. If you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you don't know yourself nor your enemy, you will succumb in every battle. So, those blue teams that Donnie talked about, they need to know their own system, obviously, to know where are their vulnerabilities, where are the problems, what needs to be fixing. But they also need to know the enemy. Because if you don't know the enemy, you're like this blindfolded boxer. You can be very, very athletic, very, very strong, but you are blind. So you don't know where you're going to be attacked. There are many ways in which you can be attacked, but you need to open your eyes and look at it. So whenever you enter into the real world of cybersecurity, always keep that in mind. You need to invest energy in knowing your network, but you need to invest a lot of energy in knowing your enemy. The more energy you invest in knowing your enemy, the better you will be able to protect yourself. Thank you very much. Terima kasih.
Okay, what a nice lecture, and we will move to the last session. If you have any question, please raise your hand, and if you cannot talk with English, I will help you to translate to English. Oke, baik. Ada yang ingin bertanya atau tertarik mengenai teknologi yang dijelaskan oleh Pak Doni dan Mr. Yair? Mungkin. Atau ada yang sedang mengambil mata kuliah keamanan jaringan mungkin? Ada nggak yang sudah mengambil, yang sudah atau sedang? Keamanan sistem ya? Oh iya, mangga. Ada? Ada yang tertarik bertanya? Ya, silakan ke depan. Oke, sebutkan nama, NIM dan pertanyaannya.
My name is Faiz. I'm from Computer Engineering class 4, I think. Yeah. Actually, I have a lot of questions, but I would ask some questions that I think I'm interested for it. Okay. The first is how busy is cybersecurity and does cybersecurity for work for 24/7 on a day, and they don't have any time for get rest or get sleep or something like that. And as you explained that there is more than 100 billion connected devices in this world, and how can cybersecurity handle it? And what is the comparison between hacker and cybersecurity does? Okay, let's say we are on the cybersecurity side. Are we on the winning side, or hackers control us? Just like that. Thank you.
Please remind me your name. Faiz?
Faiz.
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 Thank you, Faiz. I appreciate the questions. For a minute, I thought you don't know how to speak. So, okay, so let's answer a few of those questions. First of all, by the order that you said them, although maybe it's not the right order. Endless 24/7 cyber work. It's a concern. It is sure a concern because attacks never stop, right? But it's like a war. If you don't stop and rest and stop and think and always work, then after a few weeks, months, you will not be effective. And a lot of the technologies today in the world are doing exactly that. The reason why we are using AI, artificial intelligence, by the way, this is the answer for the third question, is that we as humans are very creative. And we can create cyber attacks, and we can understand cyber attacks sometimes better than the computers. But in this hyper technology, we need help, obviously. We need help. And the right technologies, and obviously the right teams, and the right managers of the right teams, know how to combine the day-to-day tedious work with the creative work. The whole idea of AI is to leave to the machines the work that can be repeated, even if it's a sophisticated repetition, but it's still a repetition. For instance, remember these algorithms, collecting the data, understanding the behavior of the devices, and mitigating if needed. That's an automatic job. The human being intervenes in two places. One is creating the system, that's us, orchestra, and the other one is calibrating the system, teaching the system what needs to be done. And this is you when you will be in the workforce. Because a hospital doesn't work like a university. You know what? Even a university in Singapore or a university in Indonesia do not work the same. Certainly not like a university in Berlin, right? So that combination between man and machine will be your future. We are mostly human and a little bit of AI, but the more you will be in the workforce and the more the AI will develop, you will constantly need to understand. Even in coding, you know, there's code without coders, codeless coding. Those are AI technologies cooperating with humans, or the other way around. Smart humans understanding where they can use technology in order not to be 24/7 busy with doing things that something automatic can do in a second. Remember how much information was there in the panel for an hour and a half? Millions of data points. No human can really read this. But a human can design a machine that can read this, and a human can control the machine and calibrate the machine so it does the heavy lifting of the work. I hope I answered your question, Faiz.
Masih ada pertanyaan?
Thank you for the perfect answer, Mr. But your answer is making more questions in my head because you say that there is a cyber war every day, every time, 24/7. And what is that? Oh, does all the cyber securities in this world work together for the cyber wars, or in my brain is hackers will definitely improve their abilities. So the cyber security change their shift to the to other cyber securities, and that's why I'm asking does all cyber securities in this world work together for against the overwhelm hackers?
Okay, there are actually two questions in your question. So I will answer both of them. First of all, let's talk about your mind frame, okay? You're all, I think, engineers or engineering students, right? So you're being educated to think very methodologically, right? 1 + 1 + 2. This is how engineers work because they want everything to work together holistically. Hackers think the other way around. They don't look at the whole picture. They're trying to look at the singularities, the places where the engineering misses something. And the cybersecurity profession is a complicated one because it needs the engineer, you know, the disciplined, organized engineer, but it also needs the hacker, the creative, goal-oriented, no bullshit approach hacker. So actually, those cybersecurity professionals, the new ones, the good ones, need to combine both the discipline and the knowledge and the methodology of engineering, but also the creativity and the perseverance, right, to keep on trying, keep on trying, keep on trying until you succeed, of the hacker. So if you are managing to take this one and that one together, then you have a very good chance to be a very unique professional that can do excellent cybersecurity. That's one question. The other one is about the cooperation. And you are correct. We have this saying, united we stand, divided we fall, right? The goal of the hacker is to divide and conquer, right? Because if the hacker did a successful attack on this business, and this business is ashamed, not telling anyone, then the hacker will use the same system to attack this business, and this business, and this business. But if this business is saying, okay, I am ashamed that I've been attacked, but I will tell the world, then all the other businesses know that this is a specific attack and know how to protect. Then that company or even government agency that's been attacked is helping remove the blindfold of other businesses. So again, right now we're all in university, it's very theoretical, obviously it makes sense. But in real world, I'm telling you, it's very, very hard to get companies, especially governments, to cooperate with each other. to talk, to teach. I've been attacked in this way. This is what I did. This worked. This didn't work. Don't do this. You're wasting your time. Do this. Okay? There's quite a few international agencies, the UN, the Interpol, that are trying to create this database of attacks and of solutions that everyone can look, can read, and can use. It's going there, but it's going very slowly. It's going very slowly. And I, personally, I wish it would be more cooperative. Whenever I talk in these situations, one of my missions is to promote this cooperation. But the real test of yourself would be if ever you will be attacked. And I assure you that if you are going to be working in cybersecurity, you will be attacked. Okay, remember what I'm saying. It might take a month, a year, or 5 years, but eventually the organization you're working in will be attacked. And also personally, every one of you who have not been attacked by any kind of phishing, or it's just a matter of time. And I'm sure that most of us have been. Sometimes we don't even look at them as cyber attacks, but they are cyber attacks. So once you get attacked by the cyber attack, remember not to keep the information hidden, but to make it public. Because then you will be helping somebody else from the good guys, and you will be standing in the way of hackers doing the same to somebody else. Okay?
Is it enough?
Any more questions?
Ada pertanyaan lagi? Oke.
Pertanyaannya boleh buat ke Pak Dodi? Baik Pak, perkenalkan nama saya Jihan Fadil Nabilah dari dari jurusan Teknik Fisika. Di sini saya mau bertanya kepada Pak Doni, ketika kita memiliki suatu bisnis yang berhubungan dengan software, dan di situ di mana kita itu menginputkan suatu data yang pastinya privacy untuk customer kita, dan terjadi suatu kebocoran suatu data. Nah, bagaimana cara mengembalikan keamanan dari sistem software yang kita miliki setelah terjadinya kebocoran data tersebut gitu. Dan bagaimana cara kita menilai suatu cyber security itu bekerja dengan baik gitu pada sistem kami gitu. Gimana Pak?
Tes. Oke. Jadi sebelumnya saya panggil
Jihan. Iya.
Oke, terima kasih Jihan buat pertanyaan. Berarti ada 2 pertanyaan ya. Saya ulangin. Pertama adalah bagaimana si software company, the software company itu bisa melakukan protection dari cyber yang sudah terjadi ya, pencurian data dan bagaimana pengembaliannya.
Iya.
Okay.
Iya Pak, begitu.
Kedua itu berarti bagaimana kita sebagai mungkin as a company itu bisa melakukan ya memastikan bahwa kita sudah secure.
Iya betul Pak.
Pertanyaan pertama sebenarnya untuk memperbaikan, sebenarnya kan untuk hacker, untuk pencurian data itu nggak melakukan yang namanya perusakan. Ada 2, ada namanya kita bisa banyak attack, macam-macam attack. Saya dulu kerja di DNS attack. Di DNS itu bisa melakukan namanya DDoS attack. Caranya apa? Si hacker pingin launching namanya dia, supaya goalnya dia itu most likely telco. Kenapa? As the hacker, dia people bakal tahu. Everyone will knows I am the hacker. That's one of the objective. Makanya bisa ngancurin. Tapi kalau bicara software, tergantung. Jadi contohnya misalnya softwarenya adalah vulnerability. Ada namanya vulnerability di application. Tujuannya cuma satu, itu jadi backdoor untuk dipenetrate sama si hacker untuk ngancurin or collect information. Itu yang pertama. Yang kedua, bagaimana kita bisa memastikan that's the reason kenapa salah satunya orkestra, tapi bukan yang produk yang ini. Kita punya namanya produk namanya Vulnerability Intelligence Management. Itu tuh nge-identify tadi sampai ke software. Jadi para kayak Faras itu red team, dia melakukan simulation itu untuk nge-pentest mana backdoornya si software. Contoh, software hacker tuh nggak mungkin jump in langsung ke application server. Dia dari WAN atau dari laptopnya Mbak sampai ke application. Tujuannya ada cuma satu, either mau tergantung vulnerability-nya apa konteksnya. Si orkestra ini punya solution yang identify where is the entry point untuk hacker. Karena hacker tuh nggak langsung jump. Tadi Yair ada present tentang literal movement. Itu sebenarnya bicara tentang bahwa hacker itu melakukan move dari one point ke another point sampai tadi yang ke software. Tujuannya many things. It could be bisa mau ngancurin atau cuma mau collect information. Untuk memastikannya tadi kita butuh melakukan namanya periodically untuk melakukan scanning. Scanning itu rata-rata adalah nge-identify vulnerability di network sampai ke software level. Kalau cuma software itu not enough. Kenapa? Hacker tuh masuk dari network atau dari laptop sampai ke critical server di institusinya ya, salah satu company. Itu tujuannya, ya, itu cara kerjanya hacker. Bagaimana memastikannya? Sudah pasti kita harus butuh namanya blue team dan red team. Blue team itu yang monitor, red team itu yang melakukan simulation supaya kita bisa in advance untuk prevent. Orchestra, they have both. They have red and they have blue in a single platform untuk nge-identify ini. That is the reason why the founder of the company found this a gap. Most of the company, the cybersecurity company, they become a blue team, identify, monitor, and they need another vendor. Then they have to buy simulation, or we just need to wait. Like anyone knows CM, SOC, they only identify, is there any hacker coming? Yes, there is, but the CISO, the head of the cybersecurity in the company will ask, meaning to say the hacker is already established in our internal. Yeah, that's how we prevent. So we need to scan the network, we need to apply all the architecture is correct, the cybersecurity, the solution in each of the software, we need to apply as well.
Baik Pak, terima kasih.
Yeah.
Tapi mungkin satu pertanyaan lagi ya Pak.
Boleh.
Kan berarti untuk kita mengembalikan lagi itu kita bisa salah satunya mungkin dengan konsultasi lah kepada orkestra group gitu ya. Tapi untuk dari sistemnya bagaimana cara dari contoh dari apa ya? Misalkan bisnis saya ingin mengecek kebocoran tersebut dan saya mengkonsultasinya kepada orkestra group. Nah, mungkin sistemnya Pak bagaimana? Maksudnya caranya?
Cara untuk pengecekannya?
Iya.
Itu lebih ke arah baik tadi kalau sudah ada kebocoran itu ada sistem tertentu yang sebenarnya melakukan tadi yang tadi pentest tadi. Pentest itu sebenarnya dia mau identify backdoor mana aja sih yang terjadi. Kalau nggak punya CM, SOC, most likely is very difficult untuk identify-nya. Makanya kenapa saat ini Indonesia udah mulai nih jor-joran harus ada SOC. SOC itu banyak, ada XDR, ada CM, ini semua solution harus ada di company itu. Artinya Pak itu untuk nge-identify. But that is not enough. Kenapa? Hacker udah masuk duluan. Nah, kita butuh red team. Kita pretend as the hacker Supaya apa? Kita tahu potensial attack itu ada datang dari mana. Nah ini yang dilakukan si orkestra adalah kita melakukan simulation as the hacker. Supaya apa? Supaya kita bisa prevent sebelum terjadi. Tapi kalau pertanyaan Mbak sudah terjadi, itu balik lagi butuh audit. Auditnya banyak. Si orkestra bisa melakukan scanning. Salah satunya konteks vulnerability. Artinya kita akan kasih tahu ke Mbak, ini celahnya untuk software, ini celah untuk si the entire architecture-nya. Dari sisi owner as the company, oke, saya harus benahin. Oh rupanya masuknya dari IoT wireless. Berarti saya harus close door-nya. Itu satu. Kedua mungkin dari laptop. Laptopnya nggak pernah diupdate Windows-nya. Salah satunya. Dia harus di-patch. That's one of the many of the solutions. But we need to understand the root cause. Kenapa bisa terjadi? Nah itu memang cukup panjang auditnya. That's the reason why we need to apply the right solution, right architecture, and apply the security, the cyber security solution.
Oke Pak, terima kasih banyak Pak atas jawabannya.
Baik, kira-kira masih ada pertanyaan lagi? Oh sorry, Mas.
Pertanyaan terakhir mungkin? Iya. Silakan.
Okay, my name is Axel David from Computer Engineering student. So I wanna something about Mr. Doni what said earlier that we shouldn't connect our device to a free Wi-Fi network. But how about we using a VPN?
Gimana? Sorry.
How about we use a VPN? I don't know how VPN actually works precisely, but from the many influencers out there who advertise VPN and saying that VPN can prevent hacker attacks from taking our personal data. So is it true that using a VPN is one of the way to prevent hacker attacks, or is there any correlation between VPN and cyber security?
Thank you untuk pertanyaannya. Jadi jawabannya memang cukup relevan VPN dengan cyber security. Tapi kalau kita bicara tentang orchestra in context, VPN is not relevant. VPN most likely will be relevant dengan my previous company. Jadi kalau bicara VPN itu masih misalnya SDN WAN, ya mereka punya tunnel. Tapi most of the company, waktu saya dulu di company itu, mereka nggak punya DNS protection. Artinya waktu mereka connect ke DNS, mereka connect ke yang sudah compromise. Yang akhirnya SDN-nya juga membawa traffic compromise ke dalam VPN tersebut. So, apa yang bisa dilakukan? Di sisi DNS. Kalau konteksnya tadi pertanyaannya VPN. Jadi memang butuh VPN karena kita bicara tunnel yang clean. Tapi sebelum VPN itu terbentuk ada namanya DNS. Nah kalau si usernya DNS-nya compromise, dia bakal ngelewatin traffic yang sudah compromise. Sama misalnya contoh, kalau teman-teman tahu WAF, ada yang tahu WAF layer 7. Jadi ada layer OC layer, teman-teman belajar. Oke. Itu di layer 7. Nah, kalau bicara tentang VPN di layer 4 protokol transport. Nah, kalau di transportnya sudah compromise, user atau kita pasang teknologi security di layer 7, apa yang bakal terlewat? Layer 4-nya sudah compromise. Layer 7-nya bakal compromise nggak? Bakal compromise nggak? Kalau layer 4-nya compromise, layer 7-nya bakal compromise nggak? Pasti ya. Nah ini yang seringkali tidak jadi awareness sama user. Bukan cuma di Indonesia. Saya jalan Asia Pasifik. It's the same. Nah ini kenapa kita datang ke kampus, itu educate. supaya teman-teman tuh punya direction, ngerti. Why I have to protect layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. But layer 7 is very close to us. Kenapa? Web application, directly kita see dashboard, bla bla bla. Pak kita nggak ngerti. Kalau layer 4-nya sudah compromise, artinya we bring all the compromise to the rest. Itu bicara tadi jawaban VPN. So it's very important actually. Ya. Yeah. Ada lagi pertanyaan lain? Atau Pak Fabian?
Sepertinya sudah cukup ya, 3:30 ya sekarang. Ya.
Wah, sudah pas banget.
Baik, mungkin pertanyaan terakhir buat Pak Doni ya. Kira-kira kalau mau jadi cyber security engineer tuh apa ya path-nya?
Wah,
Yang perlu dipersiapkan apa itu? Jadi buat rekan-rekan mahasiswa yang mau jadi cyber security, kira-kira perlu mempersiapkan apa gitu ke depan?
Oke, jadi kalau saya mau share ya, saya alumni sama kayak teman-teman. Saya kuliah 4,5 tahun, saya kerja di Jakarta 3 tahun. Saya punya goal. Dalam 3 tahun saya punya goal itu misi saya overseas. I have to go international. Itu tujuan goal saya. Makanya saya teman-teman put goal. Udah kuliah capek-capek, nggak ada goal, sayang banget. Jadi harus ada put goal. Kalau bicara tentang cyber security yang butuh dipersiapkan, ada salah satu contoh kayak adik kita Faras, masih dini sudah prepare untuk ambil certification ya. Jadi cukup banyak certification di luar itu cuma untuk kita prepare untuk teman-teman bisa punya pandangan cyber security itu bagaimana sih. Dan itu cukup luas, cyber security cukup luas. Tapi at least the foundation itu harus ada. Nah, supaya teman-teman kedepannya punya karir di cyber security, yang saya cukup harus bilang sangat menjanjikan. Saya dulu di telecommunication, saya dulu pernah kerja di Alcatel Nokia, saya pernah kerja di bagian router switches. Dulu itu cukup wah. Tapi sekarang udah nggak lagi. Trennya itu cyber security. Jadi kalau teman-teman mau fokus di cyber security, memang harus persiapkan diri. Salah satunya adalah ngerti OC layer. Tadi saya bilang, OC layer is the most basic. Ngerti OC layer, teman-teman paham betul. Kedua, ngerti baca data. Data Pak, belajar Wireshark. Dari Wireshark itu teman-teman ngerti bahwa apa sih yang terjadi. Ketiga, foundationnya adalah belajar tentang authentication, bicara tentang protokol, di mana itu yang menjadi poin si hacker untuk steal information, baik itu melalui DNS protokol, like HTTPS, HTTPS. Kenapa? Ini yang jadi backdoor. Nah, masuk ke salah satu di konteksnya yang saat ini, hari ini kita bicara itu vulnerability. Vulnerability merupakan jadi backdoornya si hacker untuk masuk. Nah, bagaimana kita bisa ngerti, bisa ngikutin semua ini? Of course, teman-teman harus belajar ya, harus belajar. Banyak situs yang sangat berguna. Kalau mau tahu teman-teman supaya bisa well known di market cyber security, ada satu certification yang teman-teman harus ambil. Kalau teman-teman ambil certification ini, even Singapura nggak banyak yang punya. Tahu nggak teman-teman apa? Faras sudah punya. CISSP. Kalau teman-teman mau punya goal internasional, ambil namanya CISSP. Boleh search. Kalau punya mimpi mau go internasional, kejar namanya CISSP. Most of the vendor, principal, the engineer yang punya ini itu sudah the top level. Jadi nggak sembarangan yang punya itu. Jadi teman-teman kalau mau belajar, punya direction, goal, ambil, kejar. Sama kayak saya, 3 tahun saya sudah kejar sertifikasi tertentu. Kenapa? Kalau mau go internasional, mereka nggak ngelihat experience kita, mereka ngelihat apa yang menjadi identitas kita yang bisa dikenal di internasional certification. Sembari teman-teman juga belajar, punya experience. Itu sih mungkin bisa jadi bekal ya untuk teman-teman bisa belajar, punya fokus, tujuan, mimpi, mau kerja jadi cyber security nggak cuma di Indonesia tapi bisa dikenal di luar negeri juga. Itu sih Pak Febian mungkin sharing dari saya.
Ya, baik, terima kasih Pak Doni. Okay, this is the end of our lecture. Please give big applause to Mr. Yair and Pak Doni.
Terima kasih teman.
Okay, I will return this session to Pak Reza.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Fabian Dewanto, to moderate this Studium General session for our third episode in Computer Engineering Study Program. And I think the time is already show 3:40 p.m. So I think we are already a bit late, but thank you very much for everyone. Thank you very much to Mr. Yair Poplowski, to Mr. Danny Hotman, and to all of the team from orchestra group that already came here. Thank you very much to all of you. Good evening. Thank you very much and see you in the next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.